Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia, and on my channel, I love affordable fashion, beauty, style, makeup, all those things. I also love higher end things as well. I just try not to pay full price for them, and I usually try to pass that info along to you guys. And I'm doing something new today, and I'm revisiting something that I just recently reviewed. And that is the Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Nirvana Palette. If you missed it, I will have it linked below. I did a look on each eye, and my first impression was I loved this palette. I thought, this is great. This is great quality. Everyone's gonna love this. It has had so many mixed reviews since, and the people who say it's no good, I'm very confused by. And I did try a lot of the shades, not all of them. So today I'm gonna try to touch on the shades that I did not the first go around and see, was I completely off? Like, is half this palette amazing and the other half not? Or are people just not using it properly? I'm not sure, but let's see what happens. Let's see if I change my mind or if I still highly recommend this palette. If you want to see what I come up with and what my final thoughts are, then keep on watching. Okay, two elephants in the room. I have to just, my pug and his snoring, but he will not be with me. He will not go away. He is my shadow dog and he follows me everywhere, and he's clingier than ever now. He's getting old. He's like 12 years old. And he's always with me, and you can hear him snoring in the background of all my videos now, so I apologize ahead of time. The other thing is this eye is so red, and I see that. So yes, I have very sensitive eyes, and today this one just happens to be really red. Okay, so here we have her again. I'm sure all of you have seen her by now. And this palette is stunning. I'm not gonna really go over like the color story and all that because I did that in the first video, but what I'm just gonna try to do is use some shades that I haven't used before. In the first video, I did more of these browns, and I did the green and the blue. So I'm gonna touch on some of the brighter shades like the pink and purple, and I'm gonna tap into some of these shimmers that some people are having problems with and are saying that they're not that good Pat McGrath quality. So I'm gonna get my little mirror and let's see. We're gonna just go super colorful. I don't even care if this is the most beautiful look. I'm just gonna try to use shades that I haven't used before to give you guys my honest opinion about them. So I'm just gonna pick as I go and talk instead of show you guys exactly what I'm picking out in the palette. So what people are saying about this that they don't like is, one thing, they're saying some of the mattes are chalky or, dry. Here's the thing. When I first got Pat McGrath palettes, my 5 motherships, I bought them all at once, and I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna go for it. When I first got them, and I did a video on here. Actually, I'm gonna link that as well down below, because I promised you guys I would come back in the summer and do an update after I actually use them and let you know my thoughts. And I never did that. And I have that on my list of things to do, because I did test out all 5 motherships, and I did at least 3 looks with all 5. And the first video, I was ranking them, what I thought, my hypothesis of which ones I thought by first impressions, looking at them, touching some of the shades, which I thought were gonna be my favorite to my least favorite. And I did a ranking. And I need to come back and do an updated after I've used them to see did my mind change. Here's why that idea now I think was such a good idea, if I do say so myself. Because you cannot just look at a palette or swatch it, touch it with your fingers, and have a definitive opinion or an accurate opinion on the quality. Because sometimes when you put them on your eyes, it's different, it can perform completely different. So some of these people that are giving this palette a bad review, I think they've only swatched them, because some of these people, I've seen their videos or their TikToks or whatever it is on Instagram, and I haven't seen a look for them yet. but they're like, oh, this navy in here. Okay. They said the navy, like, oh, it's so dry. It's so chalky. I used that in my first video and it was amazing. It had great pigment. It blended out beautifully. So I don't know that I really trust those people if they haven't done a look with it, to be honest. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that some people are just saying that they're disappointed that there's no special shades in here, meaning no shifty duochrome shimmer, you know, formula, what have you. But you could tell by looking at the pictures when it was being released that that's not what kind of palette this was. You could see that they were traditional looking shimmers in here. So I don't feel misled at all. I knew what I was buying. I knew I was buying mattes and shimmers from Pat McGrath and at a much cheaper price than the regular motherships. So I didn't feel like that was shocking, surprising, a letdown, anything like that. And the shimmers that I used in my first video, I used the pink. I'll go ahead and show you. I used this pink here, incredible. If you like pink shimmers, can't get much better than this. And this blue one here. And then I also touched on, I believe, this one here and this one. And like, I loved them all. I thought they were great. So I don't know. I'm just confused. I think here's one thing that I think is going on. We have so many amazing indie brands now that have incredible shifty shades. I mean, like, I love Gourmand Girls for one, and they have really started to get into the duo and multi-chrome universe. And I mean, you put those on and it's like, wow, there's all these different colors and it's so beautiful. And you know, a lot of brands are going that direction that are indie brands. And some of these more traditional brands, even though Pat McGrath started out indie, it's gotten to be so huge. I know there's like a debate if you can still call them that. You know, there's this expectation, I think, for them to keep up with these little indie brands and what they're doing, but that's not always going to be the case. Like, sometimes they're going to put out traditional shimmers and mattes, just like Natasha Denona. I know everyone went crazy for the new one that there was a special shade in there. But just one, right? I think there was just one multi or duochrome in there. All the rest were traditional shimmers that I still say Pat McGrath blows the Natasha Denona shimmers out of the water. So I'm just gonna try to put my bias aside when I'm testing this out today. And because I am a Pat McGrath enthusiast, and I'm just going to judge this off of what it is, not what, you know, that's pretty. This purple's pretty. This purple's not patchy. That's already a bonus. I'm not going to judge this off of if this was an indie brand putting out a multi-chrome palette, because that's not what was advertised. Are these mattes good? And are these shimmers good? That is what I'm basing my opinions off of. And I do think that the price is fair. I mean, you've got, how many are there? 3 times 6, 18. So there's 18 shades in here. And I know some people were saying, well, you could get, you know, an indie brand and get the multi-chromes, but if there was an 18 pan with a bunch of multi-chromes from an indie brand, sometimes those now are running $80 or so or more, but you're probably getting sometimes not as good a packaging. And don't get me wrong, I'm an indie brand. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm an indie brand enthusiast. So I support indie brands above mainstream brands most of the time. But you don't always, the money that you're putting in for an amazing multi-chrome, duochrome palette from an indie brand is usually not for packaging. It's just for the amazing quality special shades. And with Pat McGrath, you are paying for the packaging, the name, the prestige, and hopefully the quality, color story, etc. So as I'm putting on this purple and layering it, I will say it's getting a little bit harder to blend than just packing it on. When you pack it on, no problems whatsoever. When I start to try to kind of blend it, it is giving me a little bit of an issue, but it's still a really good purple. I just think packing is probably best when it comes to this shade. Okay, so far so good. Now I have used, so I went in with this purple here. I'm gonna dabble with this purple. I used this one up in above the crease, and I kind of mixed in this shade. Shade is so cool because I mixed this in with this green and it kind of made like this awesome gray. And then I mixed this shade in with this today and it kind of made like almost like a purple. I don't know how, but this shade is kind of magical, has magical powers. So, and I've used this one. So I need to use the pink. I need to use this purple for sure. And then I will use all of the mattes and then we'll decide what shimmer in a minute. But I think I'm gonna take this light purple right now and do something with it. Oh gosh, this pug. I love pugs, they're so cute, you guys, but just fair warning, if you ever want to film and you have a pug, you're going to have snoring in your videos. It's going to happen. Okay, I'm just gonna run that kind of in deeper into the crease. And this is actually kind of warming up that purple a little bit. The first purple is more of like an eggplant, and this is almost like just like a purple pink. It's funny, in my first video, the second look, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do something lighter and brighter, and then I ended up doing, actually I loved that second look in that video. I used the green and the blue, and it was just kind of this smoky green-blue look with like a really pretty shimmer in the middle for a halo eye. But it's not what I had set out to do at all. And then today even, I was like, I'm gonna do something bright, and here I am making a pretty deep eye again. But I'm just gonna kind of diffuse that harsh line right there with the clean brush. Okay, looking good. Do we want to put, you know what, I'm gonna do something a little bit different, and I'm gonna do this bright pink right in the center. So we've only used mattes, so I'm just gonna kind of show what it would be like if you did an all matte look, and then I'll add a shimmer here in a minute. But that's really pretty. That is so pretty. I think purple and pink and like black and burgundy, when you start to use those all together, it just has this like really cool grungy rock look to it that I think is so fun. But okay, that pink is layering really nicely. I like it. That is pretty. I guess I could discuss how I'm officially on a no buy. This is, well, a no palette buy. This was my last palette that I've purchased in a couple of weeks. Actually, now it's probably, when you guys are seeing this, it's probably been 3.5 weeks since I've ordered a palette. And for me, that is really good. Okay. And I'm trying to go all the way till April. That is it's like a 6-month no buy. And I really think I'm going to pull it off. I think I'm going to do it. Let's see. I'm going to do the navy. I've already used the navy, but since I've touched all the mattes now, I'm going to put that navy on the bottom, the lower lash. But yes, I have so many palettes that I have not touched, to the point where it was just getting, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, how can I justify having all these new palettes and not touch them? And again, I haven't reviewed those palettes, obviously, because even if I've just seen them in person or swatched them, you know, I'm not going to review them if I haven't used them. And I really want to use them and give you guys my opinions on them. So I'm not going to have the newest stuff out, but I'm really excited. I'm excited to play with what I have. I also kind of have an idea, as I get to know all of my new palettes, if something comes out new, not everyone can buy it. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone can just drop $40 to $100 on every new palette that comes out. So I'm going to try to be duping new palettes, like new hyped, really hyped palettes with what I own, possibly showing you guys several options of what you could use if you happen to have them at home too, because not everyone sees dupes, not everyone notices similarities in color stories. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. Like, I can look at a palette and very quickly it will remind me of another palette, or I'll see, even if it's laid out differently, I'll be like, oh, if you rearrange this, you really have like this palette that I already have, you know? So I hope you guys will like that. Okay. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. Like, so far my mind has not changed, but I'm going to try to use two shimmers here that I haven't touched. So I've used these. So I guess I need to go in with this one here, which is stunning on the finger, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay, going from all matte now. Okay, this is very sparkly. I did not wet this, or I also don't have any glitter glue on, and it's going on top of mattes instead of the bare lid. But this just looks like this is a, unless it performs differently wet or with glitter glue, it's just a beautiful sparkly topper. It reminds me, honestly, of Sigma or Natasha Denona shimmers. Just extremely, just sparkly, but it is really pretty. And then let's see, just for the sake of the video, because I really want to test this gold. This looks like it's going to be more of just that like smooth. Okay, yeah, so that's the difference of the two. That first one is lots of just spread out sparkles. This one's more of that smooth shimmer without much sparkle. See that? Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put that on the other eye so I don't look crazy. I actually really like that. Like, there's all different kinds of textures in here. It's not one note, in my opinion. Okay, and let's see. So I haven't touched this one up here. We are going to take my pinky. Looks kind of like a satin shimmer, and we're just gonna pop that. That's a beautiful, beautiful inner corner shimmer. Wow. Sorry guys, but I don't think my mind's gonna be changed here, which is the point of the video. Okay, yeah, beautiful inner corner. All right, I've touched everything in here now except this shimmer and this shimmer, but I'll just go ahead and swatch it with my finger. This is what they look like. This gold is like a beautiful, like antique-y gold shade. That looks pretty to me. I don't know, you guys. I'm going to pop on some lashes and like a better lip with this, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts about, have I changed my mind about this palette? Okay. I'm back. Tell me this isn't beautiful, okay? It is. It is. So what are my final thoughts? Did I change my mind? No. This palette's amazing. It's so pretty. It performs amazing. Here's the thing. If you want multi-chromes, this doesn't have multi-chromes, so don't get it. If you want beautiful mattes, if you like this color story, if you want a couple of different textures of shimmers that are very solid, very easy to use, reflective, sparkly, like if you just want good quality, you like this color story, you like Pat McGrath, and you like this packaging, you'll love it. You'll love it. Like I highly, highly doubt that you would be disappointed. And if you're on the fence about, you know, you don't really love the color story and you're like, I really want special shades, then don't get it. That's my final opinion. And I think it's fabulous. And I absolutely like this inner corner. This is beautiful. And that is it, you guys. Thank you for indulging me on revisiting something I just recently reviewed. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Use Rakuten to order this if it's your first time. You'll get $30 back. And I'll have it linked below as well to do that. And yeah, that's it, you guys. Bye.